The podcast you are about to listen to contains at least one of the following: strong language, disturbing topics, abusive opinions, generally things that aren't appropriate for little kids or overly sensitive people. So, if any of that stuff's going to get your nose out of joint, this is your chance to turn it off.
It's Aaron, your favorite unfiltered mess. Spitting takes so raw, they'll make your grandma stress. Is this, that, and the other? Life, politics, the whole damn scene. Whatever crosses my mind, or whatever I saw on my screen. Ooh, movies to munchies, games to the grind. Interviews flowing, this is starting to sound like a date, ain't it? Dinner, drink, sports, wait, you buying? If not, tough luck, my opinion still flying. No script, no filter, just pure chaos bliss. I might offend your auntie or your therapist. Society's clown show, yeah, I'm ringing the bell. If it's stupid, it's sacred, well, it had to be said, what the hell? Buckle up, buttercup, the mic's getting reckless. I had to say it. Now, pass the tissues for the trigger.
Almost got it that time. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of I Had to Say It. So we're going to start as we do by saying to Iceman, Jason, Javier, Fitz McShane, El Jefe, El Devlin, El Morte, to the guys from the Leather Soul Media Group, to Kate, the Duchess of New Jersey, to Boomer Bob, to George Fonts of the World of Blaze podcast, to Billy G, to Josh from New Hampshire, to Bill and Dana at Clockham Craft Coffee, and to Lisa. Thank you for your continued support. It means a lot to me that you guys keep sticking around and keep, doing all the things, and I appreciate you all very much. So, anyway, that is that. For the people who are watching the live stream, I do want to apologize. I started late tonight. For the people that are listening to this on audio after actual live stream, it doesn't make a fucking difference. But, yeah, we did have multiple tornadoes come through the area today, and it kind of fucked up my commute. It made things into a massive pain in my ass because basically on the drive home, every single stoplight I got to was set up as a stop sign instead. And people are fucking retarded and don't know how to drive and shouldn't have licenses because they don't know how a flashing red light works. They don't realize you treat it like a stop sign, and then you go, and then the next person goes, and then you go, and then the next person goes. And these fucking retards don't seem to understand that. So not only were there fucking idiots everywhere slowing up traffic, but there were motherfuckers that kept causing near-miss collisions on the entire drive home. So what should have been a 35-minute drive took me an hour and a half. So I apologize for my tardiness to the, 4 people who give a shit about what time I can start. So, yeah, so that's that. Well, it's been another week, another things. Another case of Aaron's coming into it feeling very unprepared. I don't have anything locked and loaded. I don't have any thoughts or creative things loaded into my mind. I do have a few things I want to touch on, but nothing that's like earth-shattering. I don't feel like I got any good rants loaded up, which is what, as I understand it, most people come to the show for, is the rants. I mean, just for the people who might be interested in how the sausage is fucking made, to kind of poach something from, other podcasters, John. It's, I do actually have my rig up and running. I'm streaming from my computer once again. I don't think we'll have any snags or glitches or anything else because I've been beating this thing up trying to make sure it's actually stable again. And I think I was right. I think the problem is fucking Windows. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they found out that I think Bill Gates is a prick. Who knows? But I put a Linux install on here, and it's been running like a greased-up deaf guy for the last 3 days, knock on wood. Hopefully it stays that fucking way, but, as of right now, from what I can tell, whatever the problem was that it was having was something to do with Windows. I couldn't tell you what, can't put my finger on it, don't fucking know. Again, my messing around with computer days is, pretty soundly in my past, pretty squarely behind me. So I do know how to do basic shit, but a lot of the more involved things are kind of beyond my scope and scale. So like I said, so I decided to throw a Linux shell on here, and it's running great. It's working very well. It still needs a little bit of tuning in terms of like the software that I use to do things. I haven't got the audio editing software yet. So once again, this will be another raw episode getting slapped up. I mean, I have it on here, but I don't have it configured right yet. And I feel like by the time this is done, especially with having started late, I'm not going to be so inclined as to edit tonight. I'm going to go to bed because I'm fried. And yeah, that's it. All right, so quick glance over the chat. We've got Steve McShane of Razor Wire. We've got Cody, our good friend Cody of the show. We've got the lovely Mrs. Aaron, and we've got Bill from Clockham Graph Coffee. So Bill asks, which Linux distro am I using? This is Ubuntu. I was trying to install Mint, but Mint was just being fucking retarded. So, wow, it looks like the graphics, either I'm getting a lot of lag here or I screwed something up. But looks like we're still streaming in the countdown there, and the looks like the live stream is lagging significantly behind what apparently you guys are hearing. I don't know if the video and the audio is not syncing up or if it's just my computer not showing it properly. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, things seem stable for anybody who's interested in the behind the scenes stuff of how things work. It's running so like I said, it's running like a greased up deaf guy. It's solid. I haven't had any issues yet. I've been trying to stress test it. It's like I said, I haven't been able to break it yet, so I'm taking that as a good sign. I do still need to, like I said, dial it in, tweak some things, tune some things. I need to update drivers, I think. The camera, like when I don't know how it looks to you guys. Again, this let's see. Cody says the stream's fine. Okay, that's good. But like on my screen, it looks like there's a lot of like, I forget what the word for it is. When there's movement, there's blurs. It's not like a clean image, but that could just be something on the display drivers too. Anyway, that's all kind of, besides the point. That's for the people who actually find the background, behind the scenes shit interesting. If you didn't find it interesting, sorry, you just wasted the last 2 minutes of your friggin' day. But, anywho's, so there were, been a couple things going on. Again, I have my issues. I have my thoughts on the matter. I feel like a lot of this is getting, like I keep saying every week these days, me bitching about being redundant is getting fucking redundant to my mind. So it's a case of it's frustrating to me that our society is getting this fucking dumb. And, we still have the DSA is taking over the fucking modern left. I've seen several politicians like, Jamie Ratchett and obviously Bernie and AOC and Liz Warren and a bunch of other these fucking retards pandering to the DSA because they realize that's the direction their party's going, because they're a bunch of stoneless, spineless, fucking parasitic sacks of fuck that want to sit around, and they're figuring is if they pander to the youngs that are in favor of this Democratic Socialists of America party, they will somehow stay relevant and be able to keep spewing their nonsense and parasiting off of the backs of the working people like they've been doing for their entire fucking lives. Particularly Liz Warren and Bernie, those fucking worthless parasitic sacks of fuck who I absolutely cannot stand in any way, shape, or form. I really hope all the bad things in life happen to them. I hope in the next life they get what they deserve. If reincarnation's the way that things work out, I hope they come back as fucking stink bugs. If it's actually afterlife, if it's the Catholic afterlife, I hope they're getting pitchforks crammed in their buttholes and they get pineapple shoved up their ass along with Hitler. I really hope bad things happen to them because they fucking deserve them. They are horrible fucking parasitic pieces of shit, and I hope they all just rot. And, meanwhile, it's really bothering me that these DSA candidates are getting the traction they are. The fucking, I can't even say sane Democrats because there's not any of those fucking left. It's, as I've been saying for years at this point, the left is purely ideologically driven. Then the more extreme they become, the more they demand you accept those extremities, or else you are extruded from the party. And all of these fucking people who have built their entire identity around being part of that don't understand. They can't, in their weak-leveled, thin-skinned, smooth-brained little fucking heads, they cannot wrap their head around the concept that they are losing control of their party to extremists, and they are losing control of their party to fucking communists. And literally today I saw something from Jamie Ratshit, which is why he's at the forefront of my mind, that a post made to address people that support the DSA saying, we don't think you're the bad kind of socialist. You're reasonable socialists. You're not like Trump's buddies, Mao and fucking Xi Jinping and Putin and what the fuck's his name? Kim Jong-un. I mean, literally called out like all these literal socialist communist pieces of shit and then said they were all buddies of Trump. And he doesn't think they're like them. They're the good kind of socialists. And I've got a news flash for you, Mr. Ratshit, which I'm sure you'll never hear because I'm not important enough to have your attention. But the only good commie is a dead fucking commie. Pinochet was right. I will not apologize for that stance anymore. I am done mincing words. I'm done trying to find a middle ground with people who are so fucking stupid that they really should be removed from the gene pool. People that suicidal empathy will literally lead to their own fucking destruction, and they will go into their graves fucking singing, thinking they accomplished something great because they're fucking retarded. I honestly can't stand these fucking dumb motherfuckers. I am so just infuriated at the rate things are going. And then you get the fucking socialists that have hopped in bed with the Islamists. I mean, it becomes a case of you're actively working towards your own destruction. You are actively encouraging people that want to see you fucking dead because your college professor told you your complexion makes you a bad person, even though thinking that about any other person that doesn't look exactly like you is bigoted and racist and all this other shit. But because you're a particular shade of melanin, you're automatically the fucking bad guy. And anybody who doesn't accept that is obviously racist towards all the other fucking people. But if you apply those same standards, same beliefs, same values, and same approach to anybody else on the planet, you're a horrible person. But if you apply it towards another fucking white person, then you're enlightened and you're wise and you're educated and you're better than them. Even though, all evidence to the contrary, you can't exist in a world that doesn't coddle your stupid, weak-minded fucking philosophies. And you go out and you interact with people and you look down at people who think you're a fucking retard because you think everything should be free and you think everything should be, just handed to you because you should have it. It's fair. That's what's right, is that you get given the things and everybody else. I mean, it's not fair that you would have to work for the things you want when they're there. Obviously, other people have them, but if you don't have them, that's not fair. That's not equitable. That's not right. That's not just. Whatever other stupid leftist horseshit that is getting into these weak-minded fucks that has them fucking, I mean, the ideals behind communism and socialism are attractive to people that are fucking naive, or people that are fucking lazy and entitled, or people that are petty and jealous. It depends on how far along on your developmental path you are, which one of those aspects is probably leading you down this fucking path. If you're young and you're idealistic and you haven't really experienced anything in the real fucking world, and you haven't figured out how the world works yet, it's okay to be an ideologist who says the world would be better if the world worked like this. I'm not going to lie. There was a time where I thought the world would be a much better place if we were more focused on taking care of people. That was a long fucking time ago. I still believe people should be taken care of. I don't believe it should be done by the government. I don't believe it should be done through force. I believe in voluntarism. I believe in helping people because you're in a position to help them. And if you're not in a position to help them, you shouldn't be forced to. That's the first difference between what I believe and what these fucking socialist retards believe. The second thing that makes a significant difference between what I believe and what these socialist fucking retards believe is I believe everybody should have to work and contribute. And that's the part these morons don't fucking get. That's the lie that they're sold by the fucking next tier of socialist fucking shit stains that are the parasitic, never had to work a real day in their life because they've spent their entire career bitching about people who do work, looking down at them, the fucking academics, the politicians, everybody who fucking knows that their ideals are flawed, but has found a way to monetize marketing them to young, stupid motherfuckers to sustain themselves, usually quite fucking comfortably, because for some odd goddamn reason, these parasitic sacks of fuck thrive around stupid young motherfuckers. Now, there's all kinds of other theories out there, about the decline of Western values and, the breakdown of the family structure, all of which was deliberate. But at the same time, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme, is a saying. And, the same thing happened in Rome. As the farmers moved into the cities, the birth rates declined because everything they had was dedicated towards sustaining themselves, as opposed to when you were out in the rural areas, you had 12 fucking kids because you needed extra hands on the farm. And, as life becomes more urban, birth rates decline because the cost of living goes up because there's, less fucking farmers and things like that. There's all kinds of studies that are done to show this shit happens. And it's a cyclical thing. It's going to happen. It's happened before. It'll probably happen again. The American experiment may make it. It may fail. Who knows? I firmly believe that it's going to take a degree of resolve that I believe a lot of people don't possess anymore to do the things that it's going to take to get this country back on fucking track. Particularly with the more third world shitheads that we import that refuse to fucking leave, that are here to subsume and subvert our way of life, our values, our beliefs, to corrupt the country that welcomed them in and gave them aid and succor because they were in a shitty position in cases of like TPS status motherfuckers, or the country that's much better than where they came from, so they came in here illegally and somehow now feel entitled to the labor of the citizenry because every little governmental fucking handout every single one of these fucking parasitic sacks of illegal fuck gets has to be paid for by fucking somebody. Because no matter how ideologically driven you are, no matter how much you want to believe that socialism's the fucking answer, nothing in this world exists for free. I talked about this a few weeks ago. It's the natural order of things. Things in nature have to go out and work and run and dig and scrounge and scavenge and hunt and gather to survive. Survival is not handed to anything on this fucking planet without competition and effort, except for fucking leftists. And they seem to think that's the way the world should work because that's the only way their fucking ideals work. That's the only way self-important motherfuckers with degrees in interpretive dance can sit down and feel like they matter as much as people that want to go out there and earn a fucking living. People out there that go out and pay for fucking everything. The people whose income is stolen from them by a greedy fucking government that is completely irresponsible with said money. The only organization in the world that has a guaranteed set amount of income based on the citizenry and the average income that can still be operating in trillions of dollars of fucking debt. And the fucking mouth-breathing retards want to put these people in charge of more facets of their life. The kind of retards, we should have universal health care because government doing things always makes it work better. You want a good example of universal health care? Google how many fucking people have been killed via maids in Canada. There was recently a woman who was murdered via maids against her family's wishes, against her wishes while she was still coherent enough to make said wishes, because, her power of attorney person was on vacation. The hospital decided to declare her competent, despite the fact that she didn't know where she was. She didn't remember her children. She got her siblings, which ones were alive and which ones were dead, wrong. She literally passed and failed every single marketable thing that could make you say, okay, this person is competent to decide whether they want to die or not. And they killed her because they said, oh no, she agreed to maids. Well, her power of attorney, the person who was granted power of attorney because she was incompetent because she was fucking suffering from dementia. And, the hospital killed her while her power of attorney was on vacation. And this is not like it was a hands-off girl that was just like, oh, grandma's in the hospital and I get to sign the paperwork. No, this is somebody who was actively in the hospital on a regular basis, interacted with the staff, interacted with the doctors, interacted with everyone in the building, and knew them, and they knew her wishes, and they knew she was on vacation, and they did this shit deliberately to kill the broad, probably because, it's state-funded things, which means taxpayer-funded. So it's end-of-life care for somebody that really doesn't know where they're there. And obviously, the best thing, if you're being funded by the state, is to take another burden off of the fucking state's shoulders and kill them. There's no other justification for the horseshit way this was handled, and the fact that it's got media attention is a good thing because it just highlights how fucked this system is. Now, the retards who seem to think that's a good thing is, no, this is a one-off. That would never happen in America. Yeah, because America's so much more fucking efficient. This kind of goes back to I'm actually going to up the ante. I said it a week or two ago. If you stuck up, $500 in an envelope and mailed it to me, and it showed up here, I would mail it back to you if you believe that mail-in voting is secure. I'm going to up the ante on that. If you mail me $500 in cash and it shows up to my house and it arrives securely, I will double your fucking money and mail it back to you. Take the gamble if you believe in the fucking system that fucking much. If you think the U.S. Post Office is that fucking secure, put your money where your fucking mouth is. Take my bet. Take my money. I'm giving away free money to some motherfucker who, believes the system isn't fucking rigged. Now, this is only going to happen to the first person that does it because I don't have enough money to be giving $500 to every asshole that mails it to me. But if somebody actually has the stones to do it, the first person to do it's going to get their money doubled. And if more than one person does it, you're getting your fucking money back, and that's all you can fucking ask for. But if you reach out to me and go, hey, I mailed you $500 3 weeks ago, where's my refund? And I don't have your money, and I tell you to get fucked, you can argue with me all you want, but I'm not giving you a fucking dime. The post office robbed you because the mail is not fucking secure. So, yeah, but I'm going to restate that. That is, I am as serious as fucking cancer. I don't think anybody's going to take me up on it. I don't think, I don't think my listeners would do it because maybe you're too nice to me and you don't want to take Aaron's money because Aaron's a poor. But, some retard leftist that found me on accident because the SEO put me in front of him for some goddamn reason, I fucking dare ya. Go ahead, send me the money. It's just, it drives me crazy. Okay, and I lost my train of thought. What else was I going to talk about? Mondami is, still kind of doing his little shuck and jive, trying to deny that, his whole thing is nothing but failure, and the stupid retard leftists are all getting behind it. Like, oh no, look how great this is working. The only reason New York's not doing better is because of greedy capitalist motherfuckers, blah, 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 blah. And these ideas are still spreading across the country, which just infuriates me for so many reasons. Like, the conquered state of Michigan is probably going to wind up electing a DSA Islamist for a fucking senator, and that's a fucking shame. The more of these people that show up that, keep weaseling their way into government, insinuating themselves into every aspect of our life, crying victim, crying poor me, crying Islamophobia, crying racism, right up to the point where they actually get into a position where they feel there's enough of them where they're going to start demanding that everyone live according to their horse shit, goat fucking, child molesting, pedophilic warlord bullshit. And it's not going to happen. I mean, this is America. And the arrogance on some of these fuck stains that I see. Oh, well, you will be subservient to us. Islam will enter every house. This isn't Europe. As much as a lot of our fucking leadership are trying to make it into Europe, it's not going to happen. They start trying to, they're getting ballsy. In Dearborn, they tried to stone 2 Christians that were out there talking shit about Islam. They're trying to, they're definitely overplaying their fucking hand. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm not happy about it, but I really don't think this is something we're going to be able to vote our ways out of unless our politicians wake the fuck up, realize that they're pandering and they're attempting to line their pockets on their way to the fucking grave because the vast majority of them are in their 60s or older. So let's face it, it's not like they're planning long terms. They don't really give a fuck about the actual impact of their policies and their behaviors and their procedures. They just care about lining their fucking pockets. They don't care about those of us that are still going to have to live with the fucking results of their horse shit. But unless the government really steps the fuck up and says, you know what, you have 2 options. You assimilate or you get the fuck out, which I don't see happening. I really believe it's going to come down to the population's going to have to do something about it and make it extremely clear that we will not be told we're wrong. We will not be told we have to live according to your policies. And if you don't like that, there are 56 fucking Muslim countries in this fucking world already that you are more than welcome to fuck off to. Because honestly, one of the things these liberal, primarily like white bitches think, and I'm using the universal bitches, not the gender specific bitches, but the bitches as in y'all some bitches. The liberal white motherfuckers that are out here like, oh, well, I don't want these people to think I'm a bad person. I don't want people to think I'm racist or bigoted or phobic. Regardless of what you want people to think of you, and I've said it so many times, why would you value the opinion of someone who doesn't respect you and someone you shouldn't respect in return. Why do you give a fuck about the opinions of people who fucking hate you? But I digress. I don't, like I said, I don't understand the liberal mindset. They're fucking retarded. But at the end of the day, no amount of sympathy or empathy is going to stop them from trying to cut your fucking head off if you do something they don't like and they are actually in a position of authority. They're not going to say, "Oh, well, we were allies because you were on my side, so we're on the same team now." No. Shira law gets implemented in this country. All of these retarded white Karen motherfuckers are going to be the first ones up against the fucking wall because they will no longer serve a purpose and they are held in contempt by the people they are fucking enabling. And they're too goddamn stupid to fucking see it. Again, another reason why I loathe leftists. They're just fucking retarded. They're delusional. They live in their own little fucking world, and reality has fuck all to do with how they see the world. And I can't stand people like that. I can't stand people who seem to walk around with blinders on deliberately because reality's scary, because facts are bad, because this hurts my little feels and it makes my little fucking no-no square feel tingly if I do something that doesn't line up with this. And I don't like that feeling because that's weird, because somebody told me I should feel bad about enjoying myself and enjoying my life. And I should feel guilty because I look a certain way. And somebody that might kind of sort of look like me did some really fucked up shit 120 fucking years ago. So I should feel bad about it. And I shouldn't just allow these people to be just subhuman sacks of fuck. And, it actually kind of goes the same way. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm nonpartisan. I hate extreme right-wingers as much as I hate extreme left-wingers. The major difference is, like, moderate right-wing people tend to align more with most of my values, which are actually pretty centrist, but now we're all considered right-wing. So, but like the extreme right-wing motherfuckers are no better than the leftists. When you go far enough in one direction, you wind up coming around the other way. It's always been the case. It always will be the case. When you start saying you're not ideologically pure enough to be considered part of my club anymore, you're a fuck up. When you start saying that I'm going to force my ways onto you, you're a fuck up. I don't like this shit. I don't like you. I think you can suck my fucking beanbag. So it's a case of I'm dealing with this shit every day. I'm surrounded by dumb motherfuckers. I live in a state full of fucking retards. Like, I have a fat, jelly-filled fuck muppet of a governor who thinks he's got a shot at the White House, and I swear to God that will never fucking happen, even though he's delusional. AOC's running in front of him. And, speaking of AOC, so this broad, in a case of massive oversharing, which just shows how fucking retarded I think she actually is. Again, I don't understand why people want to act like she's anything other than a fucking actress that took a fucking role and somehow landed in a position she's way unqualified for because she's a fucking idiot. Every time she opens her goddamn mouth, she just reinforces how dumb she is, and these mouth-breathing fucks applaud like she said like she just answered how we could make the world better. Well, if rich people just shared, bitch, you have more money than you need. I don't see you sharing a fucking thing. Hypocritical fucking, champagne socialists, like you get that fucking retard Hassan Piker, who has literally come out and said that, like, all of Mandami's cabinet is way cooler than he is because they're all, like, these loud-ass, very vocal, parasitic, upper-class socialist parasites that are supported by their parents. They all have money. They all come from money. And he's fine with the fact because he comes from money and he's a socialist retard. He makes a shit ton of money via capitalism, bitching about capitalism to socialist retards. And since he's rich, he's absolutely fine with the ideals of destroying the fucking working class because that's what socialism does first. Though it destroys the working class, makes a poor class and an elite class. He considers himself part of the elite. He's already got his fucking money. He's got his parents' money. He's got his money. He's part of the elite, so he won't be impacted by any of this shit. So he's fine with it. And he's been very vocal about it. And these retards still follow him because they seem to think destroying the middle class is somehow going to elevate them from piece of shit to, hey, I'm equal to all these other people, so I'm not a piece of shit anymore. No, you just turned everybody's life into shit because you're a failed excuse of a fucking human being and you can't get along to... you can't be bothered to contribute to society enough to prove you have worth to sustain your existence, but you still think you're worth existing, even though, nobody's interested in your dissertations on interpretive lesbian underwater basket weaving, but you got a master's degree in it, so obviously somebody should give a fuck what you think, you purple-haired fucking coffee-slinging sack of fuck. Weak-seated, weak fucking minded, poor genetics, fucking weak chins, purple-haired, fucking soy milk, oat milk, mocha latte, chai tea drinking sacks of fuck who are so fucking fucking firing, they don't have the wherewithal to understand their very basic lack of fucking worth. So they're the people that are out there saying, oh, well, all lives matter. And, unless you're not born yet, then you're not a life. Then you're a clump of cells and you're a parasitic leech on fucking a woman. But they can't tell you what a woman is because, a trans man's a woman too. He's just as much of a woman as a biological woman, as a cis woman. And, they want to say cis like that's a fucking real thing. No, that's a slur they made up for normal people because it makes them feel more validated. Because if they were actually women or men, they wouldn't need the modifier trans in front of it. But, reality's harsh and they haven't managed to subvert language far enough yet to make their delusions mainstream. Even though they're very mainstream, but they're not to the point where they've altered the language. They keep trying. They keep trying to change the meanings of words and keep trying to change. Oh, well, it says we changed what vaccination means. A vaccine no longer has to provide immunity. It just has to mitigate the effects of a virus. Now it's a vaccine. No, Fauci, it's not. It's a fucking gene therapy. You're a sack of shit, and I hope that little fucking troglodyte gets thrown in fucking prison. They did introduce articles of contempt against him for his pleading the fifth 111 times when he was in front of Congress. So Rand Paul is bringing him up on contempt of Congress charges, and they did it they went around the fucking Dems that are all sitting out there trying to run interference for that piece of shit, trying to hold him up like he's some fucking hero. And, for a community that seems to think they really want to, hey, we're part of the alphabet people. We're LGBTQIA, hashtag friendly. They ignored a lot of the gays who, the elder gays, the gays that no longer count because they don't want to be affiliated with the fucking weirdos. The elder gays were going, hey, back in the 80s, Fauci was killing us because he was prescribing medications that were more lethal than AIDS as a treatment, as a therapy, and he was getting rich off of that shit, and he killed hundreds of us, if not thousands, via the treatment because he was an arrogant, pompous sack of shit who was trying to line his pockets at the expense of a community he didn't fucking care about. And that narcissistic little fucking troglodyte simply became more out there in the world where he all of a sudden went, well, I got a little bit of millions killing the gays. If I kill everybody, I'll be fucking rich as Crocus. And, they had the Fauci diary, which, I don't, if the Fauci diary was accurate, and I completely believe it was, I'm going to just go on record as saying that. I believe Fauci is exactly the kind of ineffectual little failure of a man who would keep a diary like a 12-year-old fucking girl. I believe he would sit there and journal. I was on the cover of Modern Medicine today. Everybody loves me so much. I'm so popular. I'm the prettiest girl at the fucking dance this week. Everybody has to do what I said because I got the president convinced this is the answer. Well, let's be honest. It was more like he got the president's handlers convinced he was the answer because Trump was trying to shit can him. I mean, I'm not saying this to defend Orange Jesus because Orange Jesus is to blame for Operation Warp Speed and all this other horse shit and the initial protocols that blew this COVID horse shit way out of fucking proportion. And he allowed himself to be lied to by that narcissistic little fuckwaffle. And, I am the science. No, you're a fucking narcissistic piece of shit lying fuck. Sorry, had to lubricate the vocal cords there a little bit. But yeah, so that worthless sack of fuck who convinced a bunch of other idiots, and I really believe in Trump's first administration, he surrounded himself with yes men who were telling him shit they thought he would hear and manipulating him left, right, and center via what they were actually revealing to him. I think most of his first cabinet probably should be thrown in the gulag with Fauci for the way this shit was blown out of proportion. But once fucking, Biden took office and Fauci was all of a sudden given fucking carte blanche to be the absolute sack of horse fuck that he was, it's been proven that he was lying about treatments that existed that were effective in mitigating fucking COVID symptoms and COVID impact. The hydroquinine, the fucking, Oh, well, no, that's horse paste for ivermectin, which was something that won a fucking Nobel Prize for how effective it was. Because if those protocols existed, they couldn't get emergency authorization for the fucking mRNA bullshit that they infected people with. He knew that there were fucking side effects that were dangerous. He had a myocardial infarction when he got the shot. He didn't publish the fact that he had negative side effects. Of course, no. He had to keep his mouth shut on that so they could get those shots out into the arms of the fucking population. He killed people all around the world to line his pockets and to stroke his fucking ego. The weak little failed excuse of a man that somehow found himself in a position he was completely unworthy of, knew that it increased the risk of miscarriages in women of birthing age, knew that it increased the risks of sterility in young women, didn't fucking care. It was important that everybody thought he was the man, and it was important that he got fucking richer. He's a horrible excuse of a human being. He's definitely my archetype of what a failed excuse of a man could be. And it just, I hate him. I hate him so much. I want to see bad things happen to him. I would love to. I mean, I'm convinced nothing will come of these hearings. There will be no accountability because we live in a society where once you reach a certain level of fucking income and a certain net worth, you are no longer held accountable for a fucking thing. I mean, there might be a lot of, saber rattling and oh my God, look at this. The last fucking rich asshole that got anything remotely close to what he had coming to him was Bernie fucking Madoff. And if you don't understand that reference, you're probably too young to be listening to this fucking podcast. But go Google some shit, find out who Bernie was, and realize he was probably the last rich motherfucker to get held to any kind of real accountability, and he was basically a patsy on top of it. So do with that what you fucking will. It's just infuriating to me. There will be no consequences. Fauci will... Worst case scenario, if they throw him in prison over the contempt of Congress charges, that would at most carry a year. It'll be a year in a federal penitentiary. He will be, it's not like they're going to ship him to fucking Gitmo. There'll probably be a tennis court. He'll be upset that there's not a golf course. Or, maybe the tennis court's too tall for him and he'll have to play volleyball over the net because it's too high. I don't know. Worthless fucking little troglodyte. But he's not going to see any real consequences. He's not going to get thrown in Gen Pop with a bunch of people that got, their lives ruined because they refused to take a shot. It's people that are so just fucked about how they look at the world. Oh, well, he was just doing the best with what he could with what he had. His own fucking words prove that was a lie. Well, the journal's probably bullshit. That's why it came out when it did. This asshole was so fucking arrogant, he kept his personal files and his thoughts and feelings on a government-owned computer. Not because I think he's actually not nearly as smart as people want to say he is. I don't think he's nearly as smart as he thinks he is. But he was so fucking arrogant, he never thought it could ever possibly wind up being an issue that there may be a backup of this computer somewhere in government property because it's a government-owned system. I'm sure that thought never once crossed his mind that he wouldn't be in a position where his own words could come back and kick him in the fucking dick. He probably didn't even bother to fucking password protect them. Arrogant sack of fuck waffle. Anyway, but speaking of infertility things, popular information just came out because I associate with people who keep their fingers on the pulse of society, unlike me, who are just kind of, I absorb through osmosis. I don't actively seek this shit out. But apparently AOC's harvesting some of her fucking eggs. And she also broke up with her boyfriend, her, rich white guy, because rich white guys are bad. So it kind of makes you wonder what this play is going to be at. She's probably trying to start getting herself better positioned to appeal to the fucking more extreme modern left and make a bid for a presidential run. Because she said in an interview she hasn't ruled out the possibility. Fucking horse-faced fucking worthless bitch. I mean, just stupid fucking cunt. We don't need stupid fucking cunts in the White House. We have enough stupid fucking people in the White House. She is, leaps and bounds dumber than most of the people. I mean, and it's not like she would be surrounding herself with a good cabinet that's going to advise her. Well, she's going to surround herself with other ideologues and whack jobs like the fucking old man she flies around the country on a private jet bitching about the evils of capitalism. But yeah, so I hate her. I hope bad things happen. I really hope whoever harvests her fucking eggs makes it hurt in the process, because as I understand it, it's not a pleasant procedure at all. So I hope it fucking hurts, and I hope they mishandle them and they all fucking go bad in the freezer. I hope they get freezer burned. I hope somebody forgets to burp the fucking Tupperware before they put them away. Because frankly, that cunt should not be passing her genetics on. As much as I'm a firm believer we need to fix the birth rate in this country so we don't need to import third world shitheads to fucking offset the lack of population, I also am an amateur eugenicist, and I think I should get sole discretion on who gets to reproduce and who doesn't. And she is definitely in the fucking doesn't column. Worthless sack of fuck. Oh, God, I am so infuriated by all of these fucking people. I feel like I'm just spewing the same repetitive hate towards the same fucking people, but they won't fucking go away. And on a lighter note, another thing that I wanted to briefly touch on that I found fucking hilarious is, now I'm not a huge fan of the WNBA. I don't know anybody who is a huge fan of the WNBA. I know of a few people tangentially who say like, oh, well, my wife watches it, so I wind up watching it. And things like that. I'm sure there are groups of women out there that are like, girl power, rah us, yay, yay, blah, blah. And they're on board for all this shit. But the only reason the WNBA is getting any fucking attention right now is because of all the stupid horseshit drama that's going on in it. And I don't have clips pulled up. I don't have shit to share. I might actually, now that I got my functional computer back up and running again, maybe I'll start doing that kind of shit so you guys can understand where my brain is. But that was never how the show was started. That's not how I built my audience of 10 loyal listeners and 7 or 8 hangarounds. But at the end of the day, it's a case of a case of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it might be broke, but I'm happy with how it's broken. So fuck it. I'm still probably not going to do it, but maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe give me some feedback. Tell me what you guys think. Should I start doing clips and adding shit like that? So I can start arguing with YouTube about fair use and intellectual property rights and all that other shit. Because it's not like I'm ever going to be fucking monetized with, as much as I love you guys, my tens of listeners, we're never going to hit the metrics that they require for me to make a cent off this. Plus, I say way too many words that the algorithm just doesn't fucking appreciate. So, fuck it. I never got into this for the money. I got into this so I could vent my spleen, and I do that. So fuck it. I'm here for it. But anyway, so yeah, recent drama in the fucking WNBA. Outside of, the couple of white girls getting the shit kicked out of them on a regular basis, their coaches not defending them, was it Sophie Clark and or Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. Again, like I said, I don't follow this shit. I'm aware of these things tangentially. I don't actively seek out any of this shit. So the fact that I remembered it all kind of impresses me. But anyway, I digress. These two girls that actually have some skills, play the game well, getting the shit beaten out of them by every jealous, man-looking fucking bitch in the league, fouled left and right, getting beat the fuck up, no backup from their coaches, no support from their teammates, just getting fucked around. It's the only thing that's bringing any attention to this horseshit league in a lot of fucking ways. So now they've started in with the whole, a lot of the coaches are coming out and saying that trans women have a right to play in the fucking WNBA. And Sophie Cunningham comes out and says, I don't think that's right. I don't want men in the locker rooms. We have Title IX for a reason. This is the WNBA. It's not the TWNBA. It's the WNBA. W stands for woman. None of these motherfuckers want to admit that a woman is an actual fucking thing, except for when they're trying to cry about male privilege and shit like that. But I don't understand how you can believe in male privilege if you don't understand what a woman is. And a couple of former NBA players have actually declared for the WNBA. They have decided they are trans. They're declaring that they want to be involved in the draft for the WNBA in the upcoming season. They've filled out all the appropriate paperwork. And literally, the one guy is also running for Senate as a Republican. He's not doing great in the race. Maybe this is a stunt, but honestly, I want to see him do it because everything he said about it has been fucking hilarious. And he flat out came out and said it. If this is the case, you have to apply the rules fairly, and you have to let me come to camp. You have to let me come try out for the WNBA because I've declared myself as a woman, and that's all you require. So I'm doing it. You have to let me in. And then there was another guy who said basically the same thing. And if these guys hold them to it. And if the WNBA decides that they're going to stick to their guns and try and say that trans women are fucking men, I'm sorry, they're going to say trans women are women and they're allowed to play in the WNBA. And all these fucking retarded coaches who are like, I gladly would welcome a trans person into the league. And all the dumb cunt players are like, I would welcome a trans woman into the league too. And, Brittany Griner, who I firmly believe is kind of like that boxer that was in the Olympics that actually has internal testicles and is a dude, because, I understand that Brittany was raised as a little girl from the time she was born, but something about that just don't feel right. I mean, she posted like Instagram pictures of her taking topless pool shots by shots at a basketball hoop by the pool. I mean, she's built more like a dude than I am. I got bigger tits than she does. So I'm really, I mean, yes, I understand there are women out there who have no boobies. But I'm saying she's got the build of a guy. So, I mean, yeah, she might be biologically female, but it wouldn't surprise me to find out she was just intersex and had internal testicles. It really wouldn't. A micropenis and internal testicles will make you look a lot like a woman if you don't look too closely. And, but that's, again, neither here nor there. It's just retarded. And so I'm looking forward to seeing if these guys actually manage to get the WNBA to say no. And the absolute intellectual dishonesty I've seen out of so many fucking leftist retards because of these guys doing the statement, saying, oh, well, they don't actually believe it. They're just doing it for attention. They're doing it to make fun of the league. They're doing it for this. They're doing it for that. And then, when people are interviewing them and they'll ask them, well, who are you to make that determination? You can't tell them what their reality is. Isn't that what you're always telling us? And you can just watch the fucking, loading window wheel start spinning above their fucking heads because they're too intellectually dishonest to admit that they're full of shit. They know the difference. It's just, they get brownie points for saying, oh no, trans women are women. No, trans women are dudes with mental issues. And especially the ones that don't commit. I mean, like, oh, well, I got fake tits. Now I'm a trans woman. Did you keep your dick and balls? Nope, you're not committed. If you're not willing to chop the fucking twig and berries off, I question your commitment to the idea that you are a woman. Even if you're a woman that was born in the wrong body, you keep the twig and berries. I don't believe your commitment to the bit. I don't think you're fucking fully leaning into it. I think you're full of fucking shit. You don't believe you're a woman that was born in a man's body. You're a fucking weirdo. You have mental issues. Get some fucking help. I mean, I will still accept you if you're living your best life, if you are intellectually honest about it. It's like I've said repeatedly, there are trans individuals that I will actually respect and treat the way they want to be treated because they're not delusional about it. They don't believe that they literally become the other sex by saying it's the case. They don't say, well, I took the hormones and I cut off my bits and I had reassignment surgeries, so now I'm a real woman or I'm a real man. No, they say, look, I understand I have gender dysphoria. I have issues that make me go, hey, here's the case where I have this fucked up thing and this is how I feel better living my life, but I will still acknowledge reality, the biological facts of how I was fucking born. I understand that I'm living this way, but that does not make me X, Y, and Z. I can't change my chromosomes by wishing really fucking hard. I can live as, but I will never be a. And there are people out there that have acknowledged that. And I will treat them with the respect and dignity of a sane, logical person, and I will honor their wishes. I will call them what they want to be called. And I will treat them with the dignity that is due a person that is not a fucking retard. So, yeah, so that's kind of really all I have rolling around in my head at the moment. I'm going to take a minute here and take a gander at the chat, which I've been actively trying to ignore so I could keep the rants a little more fluid because I was told that's a better way for me to flow, is when I don't let you guys fucking distract me. So let's see, we've got Tabby, we've got Lisa, we've got Cody, we've got that white kid, I believe that's DJ. Yeah, so let's see, comments. Let's see, yeah, so Only thing I see in there really needs to be addressed. Tabby says it's Royce White. Yeah, that's who. That's the former NBA player that's declaring for the WNBA, and I think it's going to be great. Cody has a friend that watches it, and he's a guy. Well, I mean, there's people. I mean, I don't question people's hobbies. I just mock them. Let's see. Cody wants to know if I would accept him if he became trans bearded. Enlighten me as to what that would consist of. Are you going to be identifying as smooth skinned? Are you going to be, you're going to shave and then identify as still being bearded? Are you just going to grow a really long mustache? Are you going to braid your chest hair into your beard? And then, would that be I don't understand what a trans beard is. Let's see. Tabby says if she ever says she's trans, she's in trouble. Yeah, you start identifying as a dude and, I feel like I'm going to have to be coming to bail you out because you're going to be like, I'm going to kick your ass, bro. And then you're going to fuck somebody up. And then I'm going to have to come get you out of jail because Mike's going to be like, I'm not married to some dude. That would be gay. Okay, so you're going to identify as clean shaven. Well, I mean, if that's what you want to do, I don't give a shit. Just don't get any hair on the food. Speaking of food, I should probably pick a recipe for you guys, because if I'm trying to get things back to normal, I should probably start being better about that stuff too. Now, I actually still have this bookmarked to, spice pages for some reason, so you'll have to humor me while I flip through this really quick and try and find something that I don't think I've given you guys yet. Seasonings, marinade, marinade. Chili. We already did chili. Okay, well, here's one for a New Orleans style grilled shrimp, this is basically just a marinade to pour over shrimp before you throw them on the grill. And no, I do not have the Oreolio made yet. I'm going to do that shit. I'm not even fucking kidding. The next time I go to Costco, I'm buying like 15 pounds of fucking Oreos and like 8 pounds of butter. And I am going to do that shit. It is happening. So anyway, we're going to do New Orleans style grilled shrimp marinade. So for this marinade, you're going to take 1/2 cup of olive oil, 1 stick of butter, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of basil, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 2 tablespoons of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of cracked black pepper. You're going to combine the oil and butter in a saute pan and bring it to low heat to melt the butter. After you get the butter melted, stir it together to combine it, fold in all of the spices, and simmer it over medium-low heat for 12 to 15 minutes. Remove it from the heat and allow it to stand for 15 minutes so it cools down a little bit. You don't want it to be super fucking hot because if it's hot when you fucking throw the shrimp in it, the shrimp are going to cook instantly and they are not going to marinate. Now, they'll still taste good. I've actually done this before, but this is for a marinade, so they are grillable. So what you're going to do is you're going to throw the shrimp in there after it's stood for about 15 minutes so it cools down a little bit. You're going to toss them in the marinade, and you're going to pop them in the fridge for about 15-20 minutes. Now, what you're going to do after that is you're going to take them out of the fridge, you're going to put them on some skewers, and you're going to throw them on the grill. You're going to cook them for 1 minute on each side. No fucking longer. That's one of my biggest pet peeves when people make shellfish, particularly shrimp, is they overcook it and it turns into a fucking Super Bowl on a stick. Overcooked shrimp is literally one of my most hated things I've ever eaten. And I'm saying that as somebody who has literally eaten something that made them throw up. A couple of things that have made me throw up, actually, just because here, try this. Okay, yeah, how bad can it be? Instant gag reflex. But I hate when people overcook shrimp. One of the things when I was doing a lot of banquets and stuff, and we'd be doing 300 pounds of shrimp for a buffet. And I would sit there and I would be yelling at the guy who was cooking the shrimp because he was overcooking the piss out of them. Shrimp don't take more than 2 fucking minutes to cook unless they're giant fucking like 2-to-1 prawns. And even then, 2-3 minutes fucking tops. Shrimp, shellfish in general, seafood are absolutely short cooked things. They are not supposed to take long. So, yeah, like I said, minute on each side. Take them off the fucking grill. They're done. Soon as they start to go translucent, they're fucking done. If you're boiling shrimp so you can have like shrimp cocktail or peel and eat shrimp, boiling water, 60 fucking seconds. And that's from frozen. If you put frozen shrimp into boiling water, you take them out after a fucking minute. Otherwise, they're going to overcook and they're going to be chewy as shit. I mean, shrimp only have to be cooked to 140 degrees to be safe to eat. So realistically, I'm not telling you anything that's going to fuck your things up. It's going to make your seafood cooking experience better. So just listen to the fat guy, okay? I didn't get this goddamn build not knowing how to cook. So anyway, that's the recipe for today. I don't have anything else to talk about, so I'm going to open it up to the chat and give you guys a couple of minutes to say something. If there's anything you guys want to hear me talk about that you think I should have an opinion on that I might have missed. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep talking so there's not a bunch of dead air because, like I said, I'm not bothering to edit tonight. I'm just going to upload this episode and then go to bed because I am fucking fried. Because I've been up since 3 a.m. because I have a certain little toe-biting asshole in this house, and he seemed to think I needed to get up and feed him at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. So, yeah, so this is going to be, I'm running out of random ass shit to babble about, and I don't see anything popping up in the chat. So, yeah, I guess I'm going to put a pin in it now and say, all right, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. And for now, that's what I had to say.